Welcome and welcome back there, Changemaker. Hello, if you are new here, my name is Kira Siva. I am a spiritual mentor and healer, and today we are going to look at what you need to release before 2026. Something that I always talk about in my spiritual mentorship program is we start with the ending. We start with clearing out space. We start with closing the chapter. If you don't have space to be cleared out, then Spirit can't bring you all of the lovely gifts that you have been wanting. So that's what the point of this reading is today. And if you are a spiritual geek like me and you actually want to have some structure, some guidance, some truly deep some truly deep guidance and some truly deep help fine-tuning your spiritual skills and abilities and actually having true confidence and really understanding your authentic self to walk out in the world and be that agent of change that we all know you are, check out my 10-week mentorship program. There are a very limited amount of spots left. We start in January as a cohort, and we're going to have a ton of fun. So link is in the description for that. Okay, let's dive in. Pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3, pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3, and I'll see you over in pile number 1. Pile number 1. All right, pile number 1. This is what you need to release before 2026. Now, in my spiritual mentorship program, one of the first things that I am always teaching my mentees is you have to start with the ending. You have to start with closing the chapters, clearing out the space, coming to some sort of completion with the end of the old. I think the thing about spirituality is that people think that new beginnings start at the next chapter. They start at the end of the last chapter. Those are the seeds that are planted, and those are the stories you got to wrap up. So that is the point of this reading today. And if you're interested at all about joining my January spiritual mentorship cohort, link is in the description for that. I only work with a very select few hand group people because I give really deep, subtle, energetic, like we are working on energy, we are working on confidence, we are working on giving you the structure so that you can grow spiritually for the rest of your life. If you're interested in that, link is in the description. Okay, and today, this pile is kind of heavy, so buckle up, get yourself a nice cup of tea, don't hate the messenger, and this is going to be a really beautiful message, but this is a very heavy message. So if you are not in the headspace for that, or you were hoping to have a bright, cheery message, maybe choose a different pile. I haven't recorded the other piles yet. Or maybe choose a different reading or come back on a different day because this is not the easiest one. I got a brand new deck. Hopefully it focuses. That's all about shadow oracles, and I'm in love with it, and I'm so excited to start with it today. So that also prompted this reading because I was like, how am I going to incorporate my brand new deck? So pile number 1, let's dive in. The very heart and root of what you need to let go before 2026 is going to happen because you are a very brave person. You have a lot of bravery in your heart. You have faced very hard things. You have faced very dark things. You have faced very overwhelming and impossible situations, and you're still going. This feels like you spent a lot of your life in the grinder and mortar pestle, just being stone ground, right? It sucks and it hurts. There has been a lot of transformation that you're doing. And this is really, I think the beautiful part of this message is this is a message, while yes, the content of the things that you have dealt with has been very hard, ultimately, you are being liberated. Ultimately, you are finding your freedom through letting these things go, through coming to peace with them, through putting them down. So the outcome of this is freedom. The outcome of this, I was talking to a friend yesterday, and it was like, or this morning, and she was saying, it's like I've gotten all of this clarity now and everything is free and expansive. And that's what this energy is giving, right? Like when you put these issues to rest, when you get that clarity you needed, all of this expands freedom. Because imagine how much energy you have had to put into literally just surviving day to day. How much energy you've had to put into taking a negative situation, using your spiritual beliefs and tools and turning it into a positive one. That's a heavy workload, right? That energetically, mentally, emotionally, physically, that's a heavy workload. And so this is about being able to put the final nails in the coffin for that stuff and to have this new lease on life. So I want you to know where you're going because we're about to dive into what you are putting down. Down here, we have the 10 of Wands, the 5 of Swords, Death. I mean, this is just the heartbreak that comes from doing it alone, from feeling betrayed by society, by the people around you, feeling that ego death that comes. You could be in a very big life transition right now where it's like you are saying literally goodbye to your old life and your new life is calling you. One thing I don't think that we talk enough about in spirituality is how to grieve, how to fully feel those feelings and process them and let them go and understand that even if you want change, even this is like, say you're getting a divorce, even if you were the one that initiated that and you know it's going to be healthier on the other end, the actual process can be pretty traumatic. The actual process, even if you want it, can be really hard. So this is this time where you are just clearing this stuff out. This little birdie in the background is being really highlighted right now. This is you. You're a free bird. You went from having a lot of conflict, a lot of betrayal, a lot of, again, it feels very much like let down by society. This rugged, I live in America. We have rugged American independence, right? Like if you can't do it alone, then you're not good enough. Even though life is a team sport, make it make sense. It doesn't. So you have to be able to truly and authentically take the feelings of betrayal, the feelings of being in conflict. Maybe you felt like you lost in some kind of situation, and you get to assign that experience meaning. You get to assign that pain meaning. And that's one part of the process, right? So we have this mental way of navigating this pain and saying like, I went through this thing and it wasn't just and it wasn't fair. And at the same time, here is the silver lining. Here is what I learned. Here's how much of a cooler person I am. For me, here's how much darker my humor is now, right? You get to decide that. That is a mental decision. You are telling the story. You are in control of the narrative, of the meaning you assign to it. And that is a way of putting it to rest, saying, that was a really crappy situation. I am choosing to assign it this meaning, and this meaning liberates and frees me from having to constantly think about how this story was so unjust and unfair. The other part of this is the shadows gift. So turning pain into purpose, your struggles can become the foundation of your greatest strength. The shadows gift, within darkness lies wisdom. The pain you've endured is shaping you into someone stronger. This 10 of Wands is very much about being alone in your pain, being alone in your search, being alone as you navigate these things. I have been studying spirituality since 2003. And the entire time I've studied spirituality, the one consistently remaining thing that I will always see and have always seen is how lonely people are in spirituality. I think in general, too, there is an aloneness. But a lot of times when you're going through these difficult things, it can feel like you're the only person in the world that understands the gravity of the situation, and that you're barely treading with your head above water, and that you're just like, I'm drowning and I want to reach out for help, but help has never been safe, and I don't know how to do it, and I don't know how to do it in a way that feels safe. The the growth arc with this, so this is like more of the emotional and energetic side of what you are releasing, is that you can spend time in genuine self-reflection and realizing that you're a badass. You are the freaking dragon. Like, what's gonna touch you now? Well, you've already been through hell and back. Like, whoa, what's gonna, like things, yes, things still may trigger your nervous system. Things may still hurt and be painful from time to time. But like, you know how to fight, you know how to protect yourself, you know how to navigate some of the world's most difficult emotions. You are like a high-class spiritual warrior at this point, right? That is the beauty in that. That is the being able to integrate those things and being like, you know what? I don't care. Like, yes, probably something horrible is going to happen. And you know what? I'll deal with it because I've gotten through 100% of my previous experiences. You're that much of a badass. You have got this. And like, enjoy that. Exhale on that. Take a nice big breath of freedom with that, right? People will think twice before crossing you because you have overcome so much. And there is sort of a raw, feral, authentic version of you that has come out on this other side that is exceptionally beautiful. I love how both of these two have this like sprayed up, like we have this like upward V of this energy, right? You were one singular little person and now you are grown. You are bigger. And I think that that is so important for you to just take a week or two and really appreciate how much you have come through and how much you've shown up for yourself and just like how incredible you are for doing all of those things. Where this leads to, where you get to is you say, okay, I have this I mentally put it to rest. I emotionally put it to rest. I've given it meaning. I've felt the feelings and I've given myself the space to feel empowered coming out of this dark situation versus feeling like you're just drowning in the dark situation. So you get inspiration, which is beautiful because that's the clarity point, right? You get the inspiration and the clarity of saying, I know exactly what I will and will not allow in my life. I know exactly the kind of people I will and will not allow in my life. I know exactly the kind of circumstances I want and that I don't want. And that's a really incredible thing. So as you clear this out, maybe you do an energetic practice. This feels actually a lot like water. Like you would do really well with the water element and the air element. So like taking a hot, salt bath, and listening to really beautiful or inspiring music, or doing some kind of water ritual where you can incorporate this cleansing, right? Cleansing these, this energy off of you, cleansing your body, just giving it that nice reset so that you can sit down when you do your vision board or when you do your future pacing journaling or whatever sort of thing that you do to look forward on what you want to create in your life, you're really going to have this clarity. And then over here, we have conclusions are within reach and freedom. So you're not in the middle of this. You are in the very tail ends of just like, hey, clear out the residue and the debris, give yourself some appreciation and enjoy your new freedom. Congratulations. You passed the test from the universe. You can go now. It's like, it feels so light and free. And if you were a people pleaser at one point in your life, I guarantee you're going to be able to stand up for yourself so much better now. You will be speaking out for yourself. You'll be speaking up for yourself. Like you're going to have some really healthy and incredible boundary setting and abilities to take care and protect your actual self versus just catering to what everybody else in the environment wants from you. So I love that for you. Okay, pile number 1. I know this was really long, but I know it was heavy too. But at the same time, your 2026 is going to be dynamite. So clear out as much space as you can because you have a bunch of blessings coming in, and we will look at that in the next tarot card reading. until next time. Oh, I totally forgot to say, thank you all for being here. If you like this video, please don't forget to click the like button and subscribe. Leave me a comment below. All of those things help the channel so tremendously much. And until next time, pile number 1, I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day. Pile number 2. All right, pile number 2. This is, what do you need to release before 2026? I got inspired about this because I have a new deck. Let's see if it'll show. It is, there we go. It is a shadow deck, and I freaking am so in love with it. And I was like, I got to figure out how to use this. So in my spiritual mentorship program, one of the things I always teach my mentees is that the new you actually starts at the end. At the very, very first thing that we learn is how to end the chapter, how to clear the space, how to wrap things up. Because your new beginning, yeah, it looks like it starts the day that the new things happen, but actually it is seated in the way things end and your ability to clear and let go. So we are clearing out your space for 2026 so you can get all of those beautiful blessings in. If you are interested in something like having a spiritual mentor, and you want structure and guidance and the ability to gain confidence and really understand your intuitive gifts, check out my spiritual mentorship program. We are starting in January, and I only work with a very small group of hand-selected people. It's 10 weeks. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, if you're interested in that, a link is in the bio. All right, pile number 2, let us get into this. So I love how your spread has kind of come into 2 parts and everything's integrated. And I love that too, because at the end of the old are the seeds of the new. So we have this area going on over here, and we have this area going on over here. And at the very, very center of this is divinity. And I flipped over this card, and this is my favorite card in this deck. I'm so excited for you, because this is literally your soul being like, I am about to take up space in you. So you need to get the residue out, because I am going to be filling up even more of your body, right? Your life, your authenticity. I love that, because when people are truly shining from the most authentic version of them, they're really shining that soul light. I mean, that's why I have a spiritual mentorship program, is to do that, help that for people. But this means that your soul is ready to rumble. Like your 2026, put your leadership hat on, because this is who you are. You are going to be elevated. I'll put it that way. It is time for you to step up and own your space in this area. So we have this side over here. One of the things that we don't talk about enough in spirituality, and I said this in pile number 1 too, is the grief that you have to go through when you are letting go of the old. Like, you can feel like you're making such good progress, and then you're just like, why did I lose my motivation? Why am I going blank when I'm trying to do X, Y, Z? Why did I forget this? Why did I da-da-da-da-da? And what the reality of that is just the old part of you saying, like, I'm not ready to die yet. Like, I'm not ready for you to close the chapter on me yet. Like, I don't want to go. And so having good rituals, closing rituals, having, I did like a little candle spell magic a couple of months ago where I was like, bye, old version of me. Like, I love you. And I'm still working through that stuff. And welcome, new version of me. But there's this really deep appreciation of who you have been. I remember when I first started in spirituality, when I would, go to the next version of me, because I was like transforming all the time, like everything, every couple of weeks, every, couple of months. I kind of looked back on the old versions of me with a little bit of shame, a little bit of like, oh, good, I'm glad I'm not that anymore. And this time around, I've been looking back and just being like, wow, I am so freaking grateful that I have been who I have been. And in some ways, it's even harder to let that version of me go, because I cherish her so much. Like, she served me so well. I don't feel ashamed of her. I don't feel guilty or bad about who she's been and the decisions she's made. I'm just like, I would have never gotten here without you. And I think that is a part of this acceptance, that you can you can grow into the next version of you, feel sad about leaving the old one behind, but also just like, it's sort of like a, not necessarily bittersweet, but like nostalgic. Like, oh, it's sort of like when you had to retire a pair of pants or your favorite shirt or something, and you're like, I have so many good memories in that clothing item. Like I had such a good time. I've experienced life in so many different ways. And like, I loved those pants. I loved that shirt. They were like cornerstones. So there is this part of you that needs to do this. And the thing that's catching you up right now is that you have sort of two different ways that you can cut it, but also two different ways that will help you grow. So there's something about your path and being stuck in a hard decision. It could be like you're choosing to move, right? And you don't know which choice, because both choices seem like they're equally beneficial. Or if you're taking a new job and you're like, I'm so excited to start as a new person in this new job, but I have these two really viable offers on the table and I'm not sure where to go from here, right? Like the choices are too close together. They're both like really good. And so there is this call, as you were worried about maybe taking the wrong step forward or missing out on the other one, like choosing one choice and then being like, oh, I should have taken the other job because XYZ, right? Your spirit guides guidance on that in particular, well, really your soul, is to really step back into the space of being a non-judgmental observer and to really sit and witness yourself. So that feels like being mentally quiet. When you dream and you look and you're in one of those dreams where you're in the third person and you're watching yourself in the dream and you're controlling your dream self, but also like you are the observer of your dream. That is the kind of space I am suggesting here. So it's like being able to sit back with having these no judgments, having this level of detachment, and then letting your mind, so you're going to sit in your consciousness and feel into your body and focus on your breath, and then bring up those options side by side. Bring up those paths and those visions side by side, and then feel and breathe into what does each one feel like. It's like trying on a new outfit, right? Okay, if I have this lifestyle, it is like this. How do I feel? And then taking a pause and giving yourself a moment of silence in between that. And then, okay, this is the vision of this lifestyle. How does that feel? And then giving yourself that reflection, right? And the reason I say moving back into the non-judgmental observer is because it's not so much about making a judgment call in that moment. It is about experiencing the feeling of that. It is about being able to engage with the empathy of what you see and experience so you can feel that and really try on that outfit, really try on that lifestyle. And then make a commitment to yourself that I am not going to make a decision in this moment. I am going to experience it. And you very well may have just like streak of clarity, especially if you feel one that feels lighter, your heart feels more full, you feel magnetized, like my intuition's really pulling me towards this one. But I say that you give yourself permission to not make a judgment call in that so that you can drop the pressure. You can just experience what those feelings are like, being in that life experience. And from there, you can ask your soul, maybe you do it once, maybe you do it 3 times, whatever you need to do. But you can ask your soul after the first time, hey, where do you want to be more fully embodied? Where do you feel more fully embodied? Because your soul is like, your 2026, I'm excited. My next reading I'm going to do is what's coming in for you in 2026. And I'm excited to read for this particular collective because y'all are going to be fun and we'll probably be hanging out. Okay. Over here, reclaiming your body. I love this. Literally a new start is coming and rebirth, and then reclaiming your body. And this 3 of Wands is about, this diligent hard work, travel, like like going the extra mile for things. I think that reclaiming your body is such an important experience. As a spiritual person and as an agent of change that like dwells in transformational energy like you are, being in your body can be really uncomfortable. Especially if you've come from a place where you were really detached. This is an invitation from your soul to say, I would like more space. I would like more emotional space. I would like more physical space. So if you have a lot of habits what are they called? I don't want to call them crutches. If you have certain behaviors that you use to self-soothe, that you know are cutting off your connection with your soul is inviting you to say, please put those down and start filling up yourself with me. Now, those could be you practicing being an agent of love in the world. Walking around in the world with a big open heart and just mentally and energetically giving out unconditional love and inviting your soul in that way. This could be you cutting out any kind of toxins that you might be ingesting in all the various different ways. This also might just be you reshaping your relationship with your body. Your body in 2026 is going to be a temple. Let me tell you that. Please treat it like a temple. Do all the really nice things. Put your lotion on. Take really good care of yourself, because every gift, every action that you do can be an act of devotion to your soul or to a deity that you love. It is so deeply about really connecting in the heart space, really bringing this light through. You have very special work coming up in 2026. Like I said earlier in this reading, put your leadership cap on, be ready to expand, put down the old you that said, no, it's not safe. You're going to be on fire in the best possible way. And so your body needs to be acclimated day by day, little bit by little bit. This is not asking for huge sweeping changes. Say you're drinking, but before you drink, maybe you charge up a glass of water with the intention of, I am bringing more soul into my body right now. And you drink your glass of water, and then you have your drinks, right? It's not about cutting it off. It's about starting to wean yourself from the toxins and from even disassociating from your body, right? Practicing presence. Okay, I'm going to be present for 30 seconds and allow my soul to be fully here now, right? 30 seconds. That's it. That's all. A couple of times a day, 3 times a day, maybe. That is what I mean. It is not an overt shift. It is small moments of reclaiming yourself and small moments of using your soul energy versus using your coping mechanism. I hope that makes sense. Because ultimately over here, again, I am so excited for your 2026. You're going to have a dynamite year, a new start, rebirth. I'm saying these things, but also I feel like you're the kind of person that this is just a confirmation. You're like, I'm well on my way, Kira. I'm already doing this stuff. And that's really this divinity of your soul. And it's going to come in really fast. So what I love about this spread too is that you have a lot of this mental energy, and you have a very quick mental energy, and it's really moving towards this new version of you. So I love reinventing myself. I don't love the hard parts of being a phoenix, but I love the act of transforming and doing all the new thing and getting a new life. I really, really, really enjoy that. So this to me feels very much like this energy where you just gonna have fun, right? You're just gonna have a fun time being this new version of you. Okay, pile number 2. If you like this reading, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe. Thank you all so much for being here. Every little interaction that you make with the channel helps out tremendously and is so deeply appreciated. And I love reading for you all. So pile number 2. Until next time, have a beautiful and blessed day. Pile number 3. All right, pile number 3, welcome. So today we are going over what you need to release before 2026. I thought of this topic because at the end of the year, I think it's so important that we clear out space and create space in ourselves, in our life, to welcome in the brand new energy of the new year. So that was part of the inspiration. The other part is I got a pretty new Oracle deck and I'm very excited about it. And I really wanted to incorporate it. And I've been working a lot on my Spiritual Mentorship Program. And one of the first things that I teach my mentees is that your new life and your new growth starts at the end of the chapter. It starts at the closing of the chapter. And in our society and in spirituality, I don't really think we talk about this enough, but it is so important to know how to grieve, how to let go, how to bring energies to resolution. And so this is what this reading is really about today. It is about clearing out this space for you, highlighting what needs to still go. That way, my next tarot card reading is going to be what is incoming for you. It's like that whole concept of the universe doesn't like a vacuum, right? So we're going to dive into this today. The other 2 readings were really fun. These do go a little bit longer, so get yourself a cup of tea, pop in your earbuds, and let's dive in. Okay, pile number 3. You have just a really cohesive message, and it's very, very beautiful. The center of this message is cleansing. This is about purifying, detoxing. This is a good time for you to go to a spa, a sauna, drinking lots of really clean, high quality water, eating maybe I know it's the holidays. This is going to maybe sound a little weird, but eating a clean diet for a little while, even if it's for a week where you just focus really heavily on veggies and fruit and water and protein, of course, and fiber. But just something that kind of helps re-clear. And if you're like, here, I'm about to eat a bunch of cookies and go to holiday dinners and I've been eating nothing but yummies, then this is a gentle invitation to say, okay, cool, enjoy, love that. And maybe at the end of those things, your 3-day binger of holiday celebration, maybe that's a good time to take a week and drink some celery juice. And I know I'm referencing a lot about food because I think that is a really tangible way, physical way of that process of cleansing. And this is going to be reflected in the rest of your card. So these are the 2 areas, the 2 things to focus on in your cleansing practices as you cleanse your heart, your body, your mind. Something that's very mentally cleansing outside of meditation is taking social media breaks or taking screen breaks. It's really, or being very diligent with the way that you think about things, right? Where it's really removing the negativity. Now you have 2 very highlighted topics here in your reading. And the one is the prisoner of regret. The past cannot be rewritten, but your future is still yours to create with the 10 of Swords. And this other one is emotions in the body. Unprocessed emotions often manifest physically. Listen to what your body is telling you. There was another group that had a body message as well. So if you feel called to another group, or you're coming from that other group, know that this may just be an in addition to or building upon message. So over here, I spent a lot of time in my early 20s contemplating death, learning about death, learning about, how do you live a good life so that you can die in a good way? How you can, for me personally, I would like to die empty. I would like to die with all of the big things that I want to do in my life and live them and have that out. So regret's been something for me that I've tried really hard to not hold on to regrets. And of course, there are certain things here or there, but I've been pretty good at finding the silver lining. Why am I bringing this up? Because one of the topics for you is this prisoner of regret. Regret, I don't have enough experience with it fully, but I do know that there are times when you just really, really wish things went a different way. You really wish you had done this or that. And part of the reason that I don't have a strong relationship with it is because I, 2 decades ago, told myself to stop shoulding myself. I should have done this. I should have done that. I could have done this. I could have done that. I've tended to just take the blows on the chin and say, okay, well, I'm going to assign this a new meaning. Lesson learned. It was painful. But, I'll just chalk it up to investing in myself. And so I'm sharing a lot of this dynamic with you because you have to be able to get out of these places where you regret the tumultuousness of your past. Like this to me looks very much like fighting and large arguments and this like icy cold resilience. You probably can't see it that well because of the glare, but we have the dragon that's looking out this way. She's looking out that way. So this regret is sort of making you not feel fully comfortable to pay attention to your life. It's something that hurts. And so it's perfectly normal. It's natural and human to not want to face pain, right? Like we love avoiding pain. Who doesn't love avoiding pain? But ultimately, by doing this, by not just sitting with that feeling and being a witness of that and saying like, okay, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to move myself back into the non-judgmental observer. I'm going to witness the experience of my human. What is my human experiencing? What are the feelings in my body? You're not being curious. You're not judging. You are literally just being a detached witness, just like if you were, like looking at a painting, right? But like you didn't have any. You weren't trying to figure out the painting. You weren't curious about who the author was. Or maybe you were out in nature, right? You're just out in nature and you were just witnessing it. This is the same kind of concept. It is sitting back in your non-judgmental observer where you are detached, where you are witnessing. These are the uncomfortable feelings that I have. There's a really simple practice. It's not easy. It's simple, where you can sit in a room by yourself, phone off, and you're just practicing breathing and you bring up that experience. And only do this if you're a safe person to do this with. If you have like really hard trauma or something, please do this with a professional counselor or therapist. But if you are just processing some of this stuff, just sit in a room, call up that experience, and let yourself feel the uncomfortable feelings without needing to change them, without needing to distract yourself. You just, okay, you're just breathing through the feeling of that. That is a cleansing process. Your emotions need a witness. The part of you that is trying to reconcile that, instead of being distracted from it, you just give it attention and focus, and you will find, as many, many thousands of, truly probably millions of people do, that once you actually listen to your emotions and you're not trying to judge them, you're not trying to tell a story about them, which your mind will automatically do. So when your mind comes up and is like, we have a whole long thing, you just breathe out those thoughts, do your best to, if you can, quiet your mind. But this whole entire practice is not about trying to control things. It's about being detached and allowing whatever needs to be seen and felt to be seen and felt without it dragging you into emotional recreation, without it taking you down a mental rabbit hole. It is truly and deeply about just saying, wow, this is okay. This is how this feels. It's going to feel uncomfortable. However it is for you, right? Just breathe through that. Spend 15 minutes. This is cleansing, right? You can really help yourself process that with the cleansing. Now, this other part, which is really interesting, and that's why I was saying you're having a cohesive message, because somewhere in your body, the regret is stored. This difficult emotion or feeling, this underlying, we'll call it a subconscious thing, right, is stored in your body, and it's having a tough time coming out. And so there is this call to be a witness to it, and then a call to say, where is this inside of me? And I don't know if you guys are familiar at all with body scan practice, but basically you just take your awareness. Your awareness is like a flashlight. Wherever you point it, that's where the light goes. So you take your awareness and you just start from the top of your head and you gently let it come down over your body. And you just ask, where is there any stuck emotion being stored? And then for me, what happens when I experience it, I'll see the situation and then the emotions with that situation. So I had like 3 big things happen over the summer, in the early part of the summer. And I had a friend working with me on some energy stuff, and we were doing a body scan. And so every time I went to this next section of my body, I was like, oh, this event came up in my mind. And then the next section was like, oh, this event came up in my mind. And that's how I understood that that is where my emotions were still stored around that. Hopefully that is helpful for you, because once you understand where it's at, now you can stretch it out. Now you can breathe into it, roll it out. This is like such a, I'm not like a health, like I don't do health readings, but this feels very much like learning how to understand. It feels very somatic. That would be the right word. Understand how your emotions and mind and body are interconnected. And you're learning that by learning how to release that stored extra energy from your body and to cleanse out those situations from yourself. And how perfect is this? The knowledge in the new moon in Virgo, a time to give rather than take. So this is really this very earthy, somatic, like integration. You're working spiritually on this, you're working mentally on this, but also there is this very physical, it's like the spots where soul meets body, where your emotions meet your body, where heart meets your body, right? We're not trying to get away from the body, which is what's happening over here with the regret. It is about coming so fully into that experience that the awareness of it dissolves it. This is what happens when you focus your awareness on these things. It dissolves this situation. This is part of the reason that meditation is so effective for processing things, because you're giving your more capacity to yourself to digest the experiences in your life, and your consciousness can digest that more. And that really, really pays off dividends, because ultimately, down here, what is a little sneak peek for your 2026, you see how she's looking up to this cleansing? Your light is coming through. Your light, your soul, by the way, is purifying and cleansing. When you are creating this space, you can see how we have like an object down here, an object down here, and then we have this light coming through up here, right? You are allowing that soul light to come out more fully. You are being more and more connected with your soul. And that ultimately, like, you deal with stuff, you clear this out, and your 2026 is going to be pretty blingy, pretty bright, pretty beautiful. It's like you find yourself. It's like all of this noise, all of the emotional noise, and you go into these spaces that are quiet and you release this stuff from your body. And what is underneath all of that is the most beautiful and truest version of who you are, your most authentic self, your most natural state of who you are. And that can come out more fully for you. Okay, this was a really long reading. If you stuck with me this long, thank you so much for being here. It's always fun to read for you all. Do not forget to like, subscribe, comment. All of those things are free and they help out the channel like you wouldn't believe. And until next time, pile number 3. Let me know how it goes, by the way. Leave me a comment in the emojis. Leave me a comment. Yeah, in the comment section, and let me know how your cleansing is going. All right, until next time, pile number 3, have a beautiful, blessed day.